Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Land Plays the Binding of Isaac Repentance. A failure to plan is a plan to fail. I think we want to unlock the B-side versions of some of these characters we've never unlocked before. And like Samson, I don't think I've played as Samson one time in the DLC so far, so let's do it. Now, again, some spoilers here for sure. New hair just dropped, by the way, RMHHXOJJ. Baby's here, by the way. She's already flipped over. So we'll be pausing to unflip her on occasion as grunts permit. In order to unlock the special version of these characters, whom, by the way, I don't know if that's how you use whom, but here's my theory on the subject. Anytime you use the word whom instead of who, your IQ goes up 20 points. Just briefly. It's not a permanent buff, because otherwise, you know, I'd be like that meme of the guy, the Wojak whose brain has become a chair for him to sit on. We're not at that level. However, in the moment, it's a temporary distortion of reality buff. Like Benicio del Toro in Infinity War. Go ahead, hit me. I just become more powerful. We'll see. If you haven't seen those on stream or in the stream VODs, you will see some of the B-side characters here soon, I'm sure. Like, it's just that, you know, when you got one run a day and there's so much new content, like, for YouTube specifically, it's, you gotta choose one thing a day, and, you know, you don't always, different people have different things that they want to see. It's a quality problem to have. There's a bounty right now. There's just a staggering amount of new stuff in the game. But we have to do a couple of things. We don't have to do the alt path. In fact, we have to make sure that at some point we find ourselves on the depths. And then apart from that, we need to leave a trinket behind on a boss fight or an item room at some point. So my personal take is that I am a fool, and I will, the longer I leave it, the more likely I am to forget. So rather than min-max, you know, what trinket we're gonna leave where, I'm just gonna be like a smart guy, hopefully, and leave the trinket behind, like, as soon as possible. But yeah, you know, I played a little bit as, like, B-side Cain yesterday, and, dude, like, this... B-side Eden is absurd, B-side Cain is crazy, B-side Bethany... all sorts of zany stuff going on there. It's a very, very, you know, welcome addition to the game is these, like, tainted characters. Okay. You're dead. Don't care, didn't ask, plus you're dead. And I think, let's look for the secret room, because, I mean, at the end of the day, this is just the Samson run, for the time being. All we want to do is, you know, try to follow the traditional Samson model, which looks a little bit like, you know, get an arcade, get IV bag if possible. If you get blood bag, you know, you'd still probably be pretty stoked. I think it's fair to say. Dude, so apparently I was wrong about the Rotten Hearts. Rotten Hearts, I thought they gave you flies when the heart extinguished. Instead, they give you hearts every single room that with enemies. Like every single completed room while it's active, which is like insanely good. And I was, I'm ashamed of my words and my deeds. Definitely that felt like a secret room. We'll hold a pill, but we're not gonna do anything else like that, that complicated. And again, remember, we're trying to leave the trinket behind. You alright, baby? So, like, even Kate brought it up to me yesterday. The baby's been flipping non-stop, which is actually a good thing, but it's also, like, kind of annoying, because she's not that great at unflipping herself yet. So we looked it up, like, why do babies like to flip so much? And then the answer that we got off the internet may not surprise you. The answer is because it's fun. And if that isn't a microcosm for, you know, or an explanation for some kind of human behaviors, I don't know what is, right? Like, you know, it's all fun, and then, you know, when she flips over, she's like, this is great, but then after she realizes that she's stuck on her tummy, she's like, oh no, this sucks. It's like the personification of, like, you know, me sowing. Yes, yes. Me reaping. No, what the? Anyway. Tractor beam, great item. I played 5 hours of Repentance on stream yesterday, and honestly, I still barely feel like I'm scratching the surface of what's going on in this. And that's not like, you know, in Afterbirth Plus, it was more like, you know, I haven't seen all the new items yet. In Repentance, it's like, man, I mean, only playing as... Even once we unlock all the characters, you gotta play as them, like, you know, 10 times to understand what you're doing with them. And even then, it's kind of like a constant learning process, but... Like, we're still so much more in the infancy of this game than I would have thought. It really is almost... And I'm almost as doing some heavy lifting there, but it feels almost like an Isaac 2, man. It's crazy. If you haven't seen any of the tainted characters yet, like, you're in for a real treat, I promise you. They are transformative. They're not just like, you know, more HP, less tears. Not that I have anything wrong with that necessarily, but... Alright, so I'm here to tell you, I wish it weren't the case, but I think Blood Rights is just sadly kind of untakeable. Let's go look for a shop and see if we can't get something going on here. I'm happy either way with how things are going here, you know? I'm content to see if maybe there's some angel items we've never seen before. But as far as, you know, Samson runs go, this one's not in a bad spot at all. We got a great rate of fire, even though conceptually I have no idea what makes a great rate of fire at this point in my life. Hey, you know, 6 cent value now for only 3 cents. Now that's a deal. You're buying a dollar for 50 cents. Oh, baby. Baby's been good. I know people always, they ask. Baby's been good. I know you're hearing some grunts. That's the grunt of, like, accepting a challenge right there, you know? Okay, actually, that one might be the grunt of being, like, actually unpleasant. So we'll go... Yeah, she's not just flipping, she's throwing a rotation in there now. Okay, I can hear that she's upset. Hello, hello, honey. Hello, hello. Here, I'm gonna flip you over, okay? Yup. But do me a favor. Don't just immediately flip over again. Okay? What do you think? Would that be nice? Don't immediately roll over again. There you go. There you go. There you go. Just enjoy the, you know, looking up at the world instead of looking down at the floor. Hey, hey. Okay, I apologize. You shouldn't have heard that. Fathering, DAE Le Cringe. Okay, here we go. Moving onwards here. Remember, moving onwards not to the alt floors. Not yet. We definitely do want to do all that alt floor stuff, but there's some of these, like, conditions are mutually exclusive. Also, I can't remember the last time we actually, like, won a run on YouTube. Which, admittedly, is largely due to misplaced ambition. Let's put it that way. Always trying to play as, you know, Jacob and Esau. Always trying to do everything on every single run. New shot speed just dropped. Who dis? That is not how... That's two different memes working together. Which is nice to see, a cooperative meme. You don't see it all that often. I wish I had not been hit, which is a normal kind of sentiment to have, but I really... I could have gone to that curse room. Probably has 2 guppy items in it. We'd be guppy. We'd dominate for the rest of the run. We'd be able to slip seamlessly into banter, like, you know, how I've been going for a lot of walks lately. I mean, that's literally like my whole banter stable. You see, anybody else see how long the lines are at the grocery store these days? But I mean, really, baby, you were there. They do be having long lines. Like, every grocery store that I've been to over the past 3 months, when you check out, it has a line that's like almost, it snakes through like the entire store. That's all I got. I mean, I really, to be honest, like, Whole Foods has become like the hottest club in the city over COVID, you know? People can't go out, socialize at a restaurant or a bar or a club, so instead it's like, hey man, hey, it's Friday night, you want to get dressed up and, you know, go buy some produce? I understand, it's like the Studio 54 of 2021. I told you we could slip seamlessly into Banter. Sometimes you just gotta push through that initial period where you're like, this bit has no possibility of success. But yeah, you know, it's, whoa, what the? You can get items from buttons? There's a reason to push buttons? Honey, are you okay? You're like seething with anger over there. What are you doing? What are you doing? Babies have like a very finicky... Oh, we definitely should have waited till we got in. Babies have a very interesting psychology to them as well, right? Like, so I finish my stream at 4, and then I you know, eat some lunch really quickly, and then I put the baby in the stroller, and we go out for a walk. Sometimes, you know, the weather permitting, you know, we go for a hour and a half, 2 hour long walk, which is nice for me because it gives me, you know, the first little dose of exercise I've had in 70 months, is what it feels like at least. And then it's nice for the baby because the baby is the only way she really naps during the day, is when she's separated from her mother and is basically just looking out the window of the stroller. And I think I can understand, by the way, because like I understand that this is gonna make some people uncomfortable, but it's just the nature of, you know, being mammals. I think the baby does not like to sleep when Kate is around her because of the fact that she could be eating. You know what I mean? It's like, could you sleep if you constantly had like unlimited access to those delicious hard Cheetos at all times? I don't think I could. I would be like just about to get ready for bed and I'd be like, oh, maybe one more handful. I would never brush my teeth because as soon as I brushed them, I would have to brush them again. You know, it would be a disaster. So, but while the baby is moving, like in the stroller, she's at peace. A baby in motion has good emotion. Newton's first law of fatherhood. A special bomb. But a baby at rest longs for something that rhymes with rest. And I'm not talking about being detained by an officer of the law. You know, so like we go to the grocery store, when we're walking to the grocery store, baby's having a wonderful time. When we're in the grocery store, baby's having a wonderful time. As soon as we get in line, baby is no longer having a wonderful time. It's like, it's a keep talking and nobody explodes style game. Okay, we're heading down to the next floor here. Of course, we're headed down to the next floor. Moving on here. Baby, we got some choices, by the way. If you like what you're doing there, if you like being in the playpen, that's no problem. I would be, I don't know if you heard that incredible grunt. I would be happy to leave you there. Alternatively, if you've decided you're done with that playpen, I'd be happy to put you in the bouncer. You know what? Let's throw a little pause in here and figure it out. Alright, we're back. The baby is in the bouncer. I repeat, Commander, the baby is in the bouncer. Over and out. So you constantly gotta play these games with the baby in order to keep her, in order to keep her placated, you know what I mean? And you learn a lot about, like, strangers. I am okay with my own baby crying. Because I'm used to it now, and now that I'm a parent, I understand that babies just cry, you know? If they had invented a method that's like, stop baby from crying, you'd be using it all the time. The person who invented it would be a trillionaire. I know you're gonna send me, that video of Dr. Harvey Karp, who looks suspiciously like Josh, who time traveled into the future. And it's like, well, the 5 S's are, you know, sideways, swaddling, shh, and, you know, whatever. Basically, he has a 5S method, like, of steps you can remember to soothe the baby. And there's lots of amazing footage of him picking up colicky babies. And then, you know, he applies his method, and then they get placated, you know? They're like, this is the greatest thing of all time. If you're interested, I could also create some footage for you where I apply his method, and the baby is just freaked out. And is like, why is this man hissing into my ear? This is not working. Like, just do something else, okay? But you learn a little bit, and I don't think it's bad either way. But you learn a little bit about people when you're in public and you have a crying baby. I will say that everybody's different. By the way, I don't really know what this does, so let's take it. Oh, it gives you a cool shop every floor? Is that... Maybe I have had it once. Okay, hear me out here. For 21 cents, that's a Guppy item, dude. That's Guppy's eye. I don't think Guppy's eye is that incredible for us. And the pentagram would be, but, you know, considering we're so close to becoming Guppy, we'll give it a try here. But I was in the grocery store, and the baby started to cry in the stroller. The woman in front of me in line just happened to be purchasing, like, some baby blocks that I guess the grocery store sold. And she started just, like, shaking them in front of the stroller. And the baby was placated for, you know... At least 45 seconds, which is kind of incredible. And I was like, you know what? What a nice lady. But you catch your fair share of people that, you know, especially, it's my demographic, you know, people my age, in the grocery store by themselves, they shoot you almost like a glance, like, can you believe the insensitivity of this guy bringing his baby to the grocery store? Don't you just put them in some kind of, like, baby penitentiary until they're old enough to, like, get a job and contribute to the tax base of the nation? The answer to that question is that all the baby penitentiaries are closed because of COVID. But in the normal circumstance, you might have a little bit of a point, but... And I gotta tell you, like, if you find yourself in that position, if you're inconvenienced by the existence of a baby crying... It's just life. I don't know what to tell you. Are you gonna start to take the ridiculous reductio ad absurdum take? That's like, well, you know, people are already like, there should be an airline that's only for babies. Would you pay extra to use the one that's not for babies? No, of course not, because the airlines are already. Hey, have you seen the price of flights these days? No, they should just make one that's just for babies, and then, hey, if anything, they should make the regular one cheaper. Hold up. I will admit you can see what's in there, but sometimes I can't. Just because it's small. You know what? Let's bomb our way into the boss trap room. Why not? I don't think we're taking damage here. So what are you asking for at this point? A separate world? You know, a grocery store that's for babies only? Come on. Movie theaters I'll give you, because that's one of the environments where... quiet is necessitated. You are in the right if you go see a movie, even if it's a children's movie. If there's a baby crying for a long time and the parents don't remove themselves from the premises, you're in the right. I am not going to dispute that. There are situations where a crying baby is inappropriate. You can't stop the baby from crying, but you can remove yourself and the baby from the situation. However, when you're like running errands or something like that, it's a different story. And another one, libraries, but that's why libraries have like a children's section that's usually like glassed in. Kids are gonna be kids, they're gonna make noise. By the way, if you go see a Pixar movie, and it's like 2 p.m. on a Saturday, and then you get annoyed that there's a bunch of 5-year-olds in there, it says more about you than it does about the behavior of the 5-year-olds or their parents, for the record. But anyway. At some point, if you're asking for a world that's just like, hey, there's one world, you know, for adults and then there's one world for babies, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. You're the baby. You can complain about it. I mean, that's the thing, is like I complain about everything and I wish for nothing to change. It's a strange dynamic, but I have complaints about all sorts of things. So you're like, should we do something about it? I'm like, no, just acknowledge that, like, you know, my joke was funny. I guess that's what I'm asking for. As we enter day 1600 of exclusively baby and grocery store related bits. Moving on. That's, I mean, it's genuinely all I got. That's, oh, you know what? No, it's not, because I actually played a little bit of Pac-Man 99 last night. The Pac-Man Battle Royale that's... I mean, like, inspired is not the right word, but I think when people use inspired, like, with a wink, they mean, like, oh, it's copied from Tetris 99. But it's not really, like, it's actually just, it's so in the same vein that it's, like, a sequel to Tetris 99, more than anything else, you know? It's literally, like, almost the exact same formula, just tweaked to actually fit the Pac-Man, you know, game model. I haven't gotten a win yet. I did come in second once. I have almost no idea what I'm doing. My thoughts on the game so far, after having played maybe 45 minutes, I don't think it's quite as compelling. We need one of these just to protect our devil deal. I don't think it's quite as compelling as Tetris 99. Dude, what is going on in this room? I don't think it's quite as compelling as Tetris 99, but I do think there's something to it, and I also think that if I really am honest with myself, if I look back on my experience with Tetris 99, how much did I enjoy Tetris 99? Oh no. Oh, but we have Tractor Beam! That's so good if it did anything at all. Did it not give us a shot speed up? I don't know. Or a tears up, I should say. I don't think I liked Tetris 99 at launch as much as I ended up loving it once I got really into it. So I think that maybe there's a case to be made for kind of like a wait-and-see approach on Pac-Man as well. I certainly, bar none, don't think it's bad. But I definitely think, right now, I'm like, in Tetris, I feel like I have more control. We gotta try, right? Even if it was Curse of the Tower, we had to try because the guppy potential was so high. Ah, boo, boo, boo. I mean, this is an incredible run. Ah, boo, boo, boo. So yeah, I mean, it's free if you have Nintendo Switch access. I know people get, like, so annoyed by that. Free, quotation mark, free, free, free. Okay, yeah, like... Bro, like, a lot of free stuff costs money, okay? Like, maybe everything? Like, if you would look at it in a direct sense, even, like, the free samples at Costco are costing you something, right? I haven't looked at the Costco, like, you know, income statement or anything like that, or the balance sheet, but just on a, you know, first principles level, I'm pretty sure if they stopped offering you... Well, I don't know, because then you walk it through, right? You're like, if they stopped offering free samples, they could lower some prices. But no, maybe if they stopped offering free samples, they wouldn't be able to get as much foot traffic into the store. They wouldn't get as many memberships that subsidize their ability to sell things relatively cheaply compared to their competitors. Maybe that would affect their ability to get, you know, the wholesale prices. And then maybe without free samples, you'd end up paying more. I don't know. I think we've established many times I don't know what I'm talking about in this avenue of the world. So we're not going to take the key piece, but the only reason we're not taking it is because we literally can't fight Mega Satan on the run we're going on. So, we're looking for Tinted Skull. If we find the Tinted Skull, we're feeling great. Baby. But yeah, it's the same thing like, you know, Game Pass is not free. Oh no, did you hear that grunt? But like at some point, I'm almost like I don't know, when people have a problem with Game Pass, I'm like, you got a problem with bargains. Like whoa, here's the way I see it. If Game, and maybe this is like a back in my day thing. Baby. If Game Pass had existed when I was like 10 years old, I would have been like the happiest boy in the world. We were spending $10 per game on video game rentals to be able to spend like $15 a month and have access to like even new games that had just come out. And also you never go to Game Pass and they're like, sorry, you can't get this because 10 people have already rented it. Dude, that's gonna generate a lot of flies for us. Honey, what's up? Could I grant you possibly a crinkly panda? Would a crinkly panda suit your fancy right now? Check it out. This is Crinkly Panda. Do you want him? You want Crinkly Panda? You want to reach out and grab Crinkly Panda? There you go. Yeah. That's Crinkly Panda. She's like, oh. You know Triumph, the insult comic dog? One of the great artists of our time. You know, why not get jumper cable? Ah, frick. Oh, I'm a genius. Why not get jumper cable at this point? Why shouldn't I have it? You know how he always says, like, oh, that's good for me to poop on? I feel like that's like what a baby's like, except it's like, that's good for me to munch on, you know? You ever hear about this? You ever hear about this? Social media, I'm like, you know what I call it? So what media? I mean, have you seen what some of these people say on this? Have you ever, how about tweet less and, why don't you consider maybe, getting a job? And yeah, I mean, I'm skipping the dishes. I'm taking the garbage out twice a day, but I'm skipping the dishes. Okay, we need this tinted skull, which means we probably should have used Yera for something. But we're kind of in vintage form here. By which I simply mean, we have an awesome run. I mean, it's guppy. We got an incredible rate of fire. We will not die, at least soon. I would say our odds of unlocking B-side Samson are actually like close to 100%. The most likely way that this fails at this point is simply due to like not doing things properly. Like, are we gonna get killed by a boss? We could pretty easily die to, you know, one of the endgame bosses. Although they're not that tough now that I've gone through them a few times. They're not that tough anymore. Might as well protect it with one Eternal Heart, I guess. Bless you. But it could happen, you know, and I'm never gonna say never, especially with respect to new-ish content, but more likely is just that I don't do things in the right order, which it's been known to happen, but I'm fairly confident you're gonna see some new stuff this run. Honestly, we don't need keys. I don't really know what Jawbreaker does, but let's swap it out here. Oh, Jawbreaker gives us the occasional tough love shot. I'll take that. I mean, we're set on keys. We're not gonna need any more. So, we take the Polaroid. Doesn't matter, really. We go to the deal with the devil. I think we take this, just, and it's a little bit of a galaxy brain play, but it's just to make the Rodden Heart further back in the queue. Although it's going to get pushed up one by the Eternal Heart we just made anyway. Then, we can now go into this room, which takes us to the mausoleum. Okay. From this point onwards, don't drop that Crinkly Panda. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. From this point onwards, we complete the Mausoleum 2 as considered normal, which means we do have to fight Super Mom, I think. I'll tell you. We want a new active item. I don't think pause button is it. Stitches, bait and switch. So this is, it actually is like a teleport item. I don't think we're ever going to use it, but I definitely do think it's better. Because pause button, really, we just be using it to... We use it with an orbital predominantly, which we don't really have. We have flies, but it's kind of a different story, right? And we don't really want to lose our flies. So I don't know. We'll probably never end up using Stitches, but Prayer Card was past its sell-by date. By the way, and this is an honest question. Wait, that's an item. I don't know why I thought that was a trinket. But we don't want it anyway. We don't want the HP. And that is HP, right? It's not halitosis. Halitosis is a tooth, not a bread. We in North America have, I just wanted to see it, have expiry dates, which is the date, and this is how I understand expiry dates. It's the date by which you should consume a food, I should say. He said the word wrong. In order to maximize its freshness. Past that date, most foods you would still like take a chance on because most foods go visibly bad or you can smell that they're bad. We can just use AWAS just to see what happens, I guess. And 2 of clubs is pretty good here. Dude, membership card's pretty sick. I'm realizing now. You know what? We should be smart here. I just blew up the donation machine I was going to donate to because I didn't want to get close to the fire. You know, like if something was something like cheese, for example, I don't worry too much about a best before. You know, it's designed to be a preservation of food, and if it smells bad or it has visible like blue mold on it, then don't eat it. You know, like it's fairly simple. That was really smart damage there. There are some foods, like seafood, for example. Like, if we had some shrimp and it was past the best before date, I would be like, oh, yeah, we don't have to fight. Mom, what am I talking about here? It's gone. Now we're gonna go, just keep vibing. I'm in the corner, watching you kiss her. Oh. My God, the man, he's almost a genius. Now we just got to work our way backwards through the game. And, you know, again, these are like major spoilers. But, I mean, if you're watching, I'm assuming at this point that's kind of what you're invested in. Just want to see what we left back here. No, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. Why not? We just got to work our way all the way back. I know you're going to be saying, did he leave a trinket behind? We did. 31 minutes ago, we left a trinket behind on the very first boss fight. So we should be good to go here. The item rooms only contain what you left behind. So if you left something back there, then yes, you have the chance to pick up something new in them. Or so, your old thing, I should say. And there are situations where, like, your old thing is something that you might be more interested in, you know, in a new situation. Like, if you have maximum HP, but maybe, like, you know, you left a Book of Belial behind and you need it for, like, late-game boss fights, then sure. She's loving this crinkly panda. But yeah, you know, like the seafood in particular, you can smell when it goes bad. Like, I had some shrimp one time. It just smelled like, I don't even know, like dishwasher detergent or something. It smelled like pure ammonia when I opened the bag, and I was like, I'm not eating this. But in a lot of... I love that I'm just, like, bantering while this domestic dispute happens in the background here, but it really does... I mean, every time you try to unlock this new stuff, you're gonna hear it, so just get used to it. I keep dancing on my own. If you vibe hard enough, the feelings can't get to you. But, like, I know in the UK, they call it a sell-by date. It's kind of interesting to me that, you know, if they're the same, expiry and sell-by are two different things. Like, expiry is like, don't eat this, or like, we're not responsible for what happens to you if you eat this. And sell-by is like, you know, no longer should you purchase this from the grocery store because it's probably, like, you know, past its optimum consumption period. Personally, I'm of the opinion that an expiry date makes more sense, but I'm open to analysis on this. People they're very quick to tell you. I mean, like, I honestly think you can chart the downfall of the internet to the rise in YouTube videos that are like, the real truth about blank. Like, you can't talk about anything anymore. Did you know expiry dates were originally created by, you know, Kaiser Wilhelm II in order to maximize the supply chains for the First World War? No, I didn't, okay? I'm just trying not to get botulism or, you know, anything of this variety. I'm not trying to get foodborne illness out here. But people are like, did you know, like, most foods stay good after the expiry date? I did know that. I'm just trying to have a conversation here, okay? It doesn't... Does every conversation online have to be steeped in, like, a Today I Learned that, you know, I learned when the Today I Learned was posted in 2007? Like, come on, man, we gotta have a discussion from base principles sometimes. I don't even know what I'm railing against. Stop giving me Maggie's Fate. I decided I don't want it, okay? I want Jawbreaker for no reason. Small Rock. It's actually still pretty good. Okay, so this is the moment of truth. We should, yes, it worked. I'm a genius. We got cracked key. Ooh, 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 ooh. So now we get to leave the basement. Presumably. Okay, there goes my spirit heart. Ooh, ooh. And we're going to engage in some boss fights that I think, honestly, we're seeing on YouTube for the first... My flies. We're seeing on YouTube for the first time, which is quite exciting. I really appreciate that, by the way. Honey. This has also been, like, an unbelievably fast Isaac run. I'm surprised. We shouldn't have probably gone to full HP, but... Like, or the Samson run, I should say. But still, this is an expedited run. Although that guy has so much HP. A bomb going off in his face helps out. No question. Honey. I don't know what frog likes to hop, hop, hop. He jumps in the water. Splish, splash. We do it in cut time. Camptown races, sing this song. Doo-da, doo-da. Camptown races, 10 miles long, all the live long day. You gotta be careful, man. Like, I mean, with all these songs that I learned as a kid in the 90s, I didn't realize, like, I mean, many of them are from like the Civil War era or earlier. By the way, this is what you do. You take this cracked key, which is spawned from the trinket that we left behind on the first floor. You can leave it behind in any boss room. Or really any room, I guess. You click on that, you unlock Samson. Bald Samson. That will be Tainted Samson. Honey, we're almost at the end here. I just give you a little crinkle panda. What do you think about this crinkle panda? Yeah. Flappy butterfly. She flaps her big strong wings. Up, up, up. It's time to fly away. But like, I was in Jay, Wolves at My Doors chat last night, and he was talking about that song that's like Jimmy Crack Corn. Bender sang that on Futurama. You go look up the Wikipedia article for it, and it's like, oh yeah, it's about like, well, it's about slavery, apparently. I had no idea. I thought it was just a song about a guy eating some popcorn, and you're like, I don't care, eat what you want. It is not about that at all. All these old songs have, somewhat, let's call them Monka-esque characteristics to them. Okay, so we're doing pretty well here. Watch out for the brimstone lasers. Okay, I've decided I wish to be on the other side of the map, and it didn't save me, but that's okay. Okay, now there's a pattern. There's a pattern to it. I don't know what the pattern is, and I'm getting torn up here. But the important thing to recall is that we actually have already unlocked the character, okay? So with the character already being unlocked, this is just bonus. This is just for my own personal benefit now, and for yours potentially as well. The Leaning Tower of LaCroix rises up from the pool created by television evangelists. Isaac is he's turning into a monolith, like from 2001: A Space Odyssey. He's growing some wings. And then get ready for this. You ever play Aladdin on the Sega Genesis? Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, when I was young, baby? I couldn't imagine this. I let my tape rock till my tape pop. Okay, so this is now Cuphead. We are now playing Cuphead / Flappy Bird. We must fight all 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and then we fight the ultimate version of Beelzebub. I think we'll probably die. I don't know where Holy Mantle came from. I guess maybe when you ascend, you just get Holy Mantle. I think we'll probably die, but I do think there's a chance we'll live. And if Guppy's hairball brings us back, then like all bets are off. So just watch out for that. I have done this a few times. So to some extent, I kind of know what I'm looking for here. But you know, my damage output, it's okay. I mean, it's really good for the base game. And I think it's pretty good for where we stand right now. Next, please. But I don't think it's a guaranteed win, even with Guppy. But can I tell you, 9 lives is like the most incredible item you could ever ask for here. Normally, oh, that was so bad. Normally with 9 lives, you know, if you die, you respawn like at the start of a boss fight. As long as you get past the horseman here, 9 lives, I just teleported myself into the fire. As long as you get past the horseman, 9 lives actually restarts you at the very, like exactly where you were. So I'm thinking if we simply manage to come back to life a couple times via Guppy's hairball, which is like a 25% chance, then there's a real shot that we're getting something completed on the post-it note right here. I mean, I guess we've already got something completed on the post. Well, we've unlocked another character at least. Hello, gaming. Okay, so now we're officially in Guppy's hairball territory, and this is really like what I was referring to, by the way, when I was talking about how much like Repentance is like so insane, and how they've done such a good job putting new content into it. Like, this boss fight is by far the most impressive boss fight in Isaac history. Like, this is crazy. Careful, there is a brimstone laser coming in here, I think. Especially, like, in a game where one of the common elements... I almost got out of it. One of the common elements of criticism for it... I've been hit again, like a fool. We could have teleported behind him. Nothing personnel, kid. He's not dead, he's not dead! Don't believe the hype. One of the common elements of criticism is that all of the late game bosses are, like, exclusively bullet sponges, and, like, they introduce super armor to make them... like, even more artificially difficult than they actually should have been in the first place. Like, I think that they really did well by that criticism here. Oh my god, we actually did win. I'll let the ending play, because this is the first time, I think, on YouTube. For me.
A white beam of light reached down into the earth, smiting the mother of harlots asunder, and setting the blood lake to a boil. As the beast descended down into the lake of fire, Isaac ascended towards the crack in the sky, and as he flew, he could see echoes of his past before him. He saw his mother mourning the loss of her son. He saw his father leaving them without turning to say goodbye. He saw his mother sleeping, and his father taking money from her purse. He heard the late-night fights they had that kept him up at night, and the guilt he felt for what he believed he was causing. He felt the pain in his stomach during those sleepless nights, and saw his shadow in the closet waiting for him. As he rose, he felt his fears drop from his body, his shame, his worry pulled from his being. As he became lighter, his ascent became faster. He saw his one true companion alive.
Baby, it's a tender moment.
He saw his mother and father together again, holding each other. He felt his mother kissing him on the
Baby,
head.
it's a tender moment.
And the comfort in knowing someone was watching over him. He saw his own birth, and the faces of his parents filled with joy and optimism. And then he saw nothing. Are you sure this is how you want this story to end, Isaac? You're the one writing it. It doesn't have to end this way. Here, how about we tell it a different way? Maybe a happy ending?
Okay, Daddy.
Good. Are you getting sleepy yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so Isaac and his parents lived in a small house on the top of a hill.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Empty Heart has appeared in the basement. So that's the gist of how you... I mean, that's the true ending path. And also, look at this. Now we've got Crazy Samson. Sorry. He has Undying Rage, and also his spacebar item allows him to go berserk. I don't know what it means, and we'll find out together, okay? But that was a great episode. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe. Thanks for all the support on the Isaac series, you know, just over the course of the last decade or so. And follow me on Twitch. We're streaming so much Isaac on Twitch, twitch.tv/NorthernLion. I'm live every day but Saturday, and I'll see you there. See ya!